Hello everybody, welcome to R&B Reviews in this post-COVID, well it's not post-COVID yet, it's still out there. I'm being joined today by Darren.
Hello!
Hey Darren, welcome.
Thank you.
And as you can see, this is our first time going to a movie in, since like March is when the...
Oh yeah.
Now for those of you that know, during the pandemic, theaters were closed. So actually the last movie I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog with Dan. But today we're going to be seeing the New Mutants. This movie has had a long delay. Yeah. Now, now this movie I think got changed like 4 or 5 times with the release date. I think it was supposed to open April of 2018, but then it got delayed because of some reshoots, and then it was pushed to August 2nd of 2019. But the purchase of Fox by Disney pushed that out, so it got pushed to April the 3rd. Because of Dark Phoenix, and then it was supposed to open back in March, and now it got pushed back because of COVID, and now it got released this weekend. So Darren, you're a huge fan of X-Men and Dark Mutants. What can you tell us about the character? Because I'll be honest, I'm kind of in the dark with the New Mutant.
Okay, the New Mutants is basically like the X-Men, just a younger version of them. The most wonderful character that I want to see is Magic herself. This is Ilyana Rasputin, Colossus's sister, and you know Colossus, just the big Russian dude with the metal.
Yeah, for he's in the Deadpool movies.
Deadpool, and just a classic X-Man himself. But she has a lot of interesting powers, and I really want to see that on screen. The next mutant that I'm really excited to see is Cannonball, Sam Garthy. I want to see how they're going to just play out all these powers. Now what I'm not excited about is they kind of made this comic book look like a horror story. So it looks to me like in the previews it was like Psycho meets X-Men. I'm hoping that they didn't really screw this up. But in the back of my mind, I haven't read really any reviews or anything. I really didn't want to. But in the back of my mind, I think they are going to screw this up big time, just like the Dark Phoenix.
Okay. I'll be honest, I know nothing about the New Mutants. I only saw the previews like Darren, and it does look a little bit like a horror movie. This is probably the last movie that was made under the Fox regime. So now it's being released by Disney after a long delay, like I mentioned. I'll be honest, I'm not jumping up and down. I'm really glad to be able to see a movie on the big screen, but I'm not really jumping up and down thrilled because, like Darren mentioned, I thought Dark Phoenix was okay, but I know a lot of people, including Darren, were not happy with the final result. But we'll see how this plays out. All right, so Darren, you ready to go on in?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm crossing my fingers, I'm crossing my toes, I'm crossing everything, okay?
Okay, now I just want to mention, when we come back, we're going to review the movie. We're also going to be talking about what we experienced under this, how things are being done with COVID-19 still going out there, what we saw that was different in the movie theater compared to before. And we're also going to talk about the Chadwick Boseman who played Black Panther. He just passed away, and we're going to be touching on a little bit about him when we come back. So, all right, we'll see you in a few. All right, we just got out of seeing the movie, and we kind of felt like it was hard breathing through our masks. So Darren and I are going to stay 6 feet apart.
Yes.
Yeah,
wait. 6 feet apart.
Yes, we're going to stay 6 feet apart. And plus I think you'll be able to hear us better. So, all right, so here's what we're going to do first. First, we're going to talk about the movie. Then we're going to talk about what we observed with new procedures in the theater, as well as talk about Chadwick Boseman. And Darren's got a bit of a surprise for you, but we'll save that for the end. Okay, first off, I got to say this movie was not as bad as I thought it could be. I thought it was good, maybe not great, but good. But I really loved some of the analogies in the movie. Like, for example, all these characters have something going on in their lives that where they're at, and I think people can connect to them. Like, for example, there's a character that's going through that's hurt themselves. You got one that's kind of depressed. You got one bullying and everything. So I think that's pretty good. I really like the atmosphere, and I like the story. It was more of a drama. It wasn't a superhero movie, and the look of the movie was not glossy at all. I really thought that worked pretty well. The horror elements didn't quite work for me. But I did say I also like that the movie gave us enough backstory of all the characters where we're not getting beaten over the head with details or it gets overtaken. And I really like the lead character of Danny. We kind of follow the story through her. I gotta say, I thought it was good. I mean, it's better than Dark Phoenix, but there's just something about it that's keeping me from saying, oh, this is great, it's excellent, but I think it's enjoyable to watch. What about you, Darren? What's your thoughts?
Well, Rob, I was very pleasantly surprised with New Mutants. I mean, I expected a total flop, and I got out of there just wanting more. It just how these characters were portrayed. I mean, Simon Kinberg, I actually think he ruined Dark Phoenix for a reason. So we can be introduced to these characters. As I suspected, my two favorite was Cannonball and Ileana Rasputin, also known as Magic. These characters have went through so much evolution during the comic books, but I was pleasantly surprised by Dani Moonstar as well. And she plays a really big villain in the comic books, and it's not too far of a cry from what we experience in the movie. But the special effects are just amazing. Getting back to Magic, the actress Anya, can't remember her last name, it's hyphenated and all that, but she is amazing, and the character is just, it's so evolutionized to a T of what we expect in the comic books. I mean, she's really a pissed off Russian girl, and you could definitely tell that she's Colossus' sister. Her power, just the teleportation to a fantasy realm. Now, I will say that it might catch X-Men fans off guard for those who are in love with the classic X-Men, because she does have this dragon called Lockheed, which actually belonged to Shadowcat, aka Kitty Pryde, which oddly enough is Colossus's love interest in the comic books. So we have a love interest, we have a sister, all connected to Colossus. Just all these references, which are just spectacular as far as the fanverse goes. But Cannonball, his story is to a T, as well as Dr. Cecilia Reyes, which you suspect her to be the real villain, but you're pleasantly surprised at what goes on later. Fun fact about her is she actually started off as being African American in the comic books, but they evolutionized her into a Hispanic woman. What I do love about this is this focuses on a lot of LGBT references as well. We have the romance between Danny and Renee Sinclair, known as Wolfsbane, but her name's Rain in the movie. And we're also getting references from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, my favorite just franchise as well. So I mean, I felt like I was watching Willow and Tara, like in as lesbian lovers again. It was magical to me. So I am so pleasantly shocked by this movie. I definitely recommend seeing it. But again, it's nothing to write home about. It's a low budget X-Men movie, but it doesn't seem like that with all the effects that they put. This movie has more effects than Dark Phoenix itself and the classic X-Men. So go figure that. I'm shocked, Rob. I don't know what else more to say.
There's nothing. What did you think of the horror elements? Did they work?
The horror elements, they did work for me. I know that they didn't work for you, but they did work for me. I mean, just the scene like from Psycho and all this, and then. But a lot of Buffy references as well. I saw The Gentleman, in some of the some of, horrific visions come alive. I mean, Buffy is all over this, and that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. We definitely need another Buffy soon, either on TV or the big screen. I actually loved it. It really took my breath away, some of the effects. So I don't know. I mean, I'm totally different from you, Rob. I mean, I'm a fanboy and a effect junkie. So, and I love stories. So, but this movie got me. It has my heart, regardless. I did not like that there wasn't a scene at the end. Oh my gosh, because as you remember in Logan, at the end, there was this scene where they had the briefcase and it was Essex, and us fanboys, we know who Essex is, aka Mr. Sinister, and you really think that these characters are gonna go off and be something different when you first see them, but it's not what you think. And Deadpool also plays into this as well, because I think Essex was mentioned in there too, but he also says X-Force, and you see, like in the last Deadpool, how X-Force was kind of like a failure. In the comic books, Cannonball and Wolfsbane are part of X-Force, as with Havoc and Polaris and all that. I don't want to get too far into the whole fanverse of things, but these characters have so much potential, and if they don't continue with these characters, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. But you said that this isn't under... This was kind of like pushed back because the buyout with Fox and all that. I actually see that actually made this movie, because I think Fox would have destroyed it, just like they kind of like destroyed Dark Phoenix. But Simon Kinberg is a main name in this, and I don't know. It just sat right with me. I feel good with this movie. I feel good just with the story, the characters. Everything kind of flowed for me, especially magic. Oh, magic. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and rate the movie. I also just want to add that because of the buyout, I mean, we've heard that they're probably going to reboot X-Men, so I don't know if they're going to continue the series with these actors from here, because it has been, a few years since this movie was filmed. But, all right, so anyway, we got a new rating system, Darren, so we're doing stars. So 5 is excellent, 4 is good, 3 is fair, average, 2 is bad, and 1 is a bomb. How many stars would you rate this movie?
Okay, I mean, me being a fanboy, I would rate this as a 5, but me being somebody other than a fanboy, I would rate it as a 4. Okay. Because you don't know what you're getting into. People might not understand the evolution of this character, so but being a fanboy, I mean, a total 5, but not being a fanboy, I go into it seeing it as a 4.
Okay. All right, I'm probably going to give this 3.5. It's not a bad movie. I like the characters. I like some of the allegories, and I like the drama aspect for it. But for me, there's just something about it that's keeping me from saying, well, this is a really, really, really excellent, good movie. But I think it's enjoyable, and I think people will watch it, and it's not a total bomb. Now we're going to move on to a very interesting topic. Now, we went into the movie theater seeing what were some of the things that were different compared to how things were before the pandemic. Like, Darren, what are some things you noticed that were different compared to how it was before?
Oh, there's just like hand sanitizer everywhere, hand sanitizer wipes in the bathroom, as well as everywhere where they have social distancing, in the bathroom. Not everybody can sit together, although I did see some people not following the rules, but nobody's really happy about about what the state that the world is in. But I think our movie theaters are really taking a lot of precautions, and they're really making things enjoyable for us once again, because let's face it, this world is at a standstill, and it's something that I believe in my heart that should have never happened. This could have very well been prevented. But the movie theaters are stepping up, making things safe again for us movie lovers, and I did see a lot of care being taken in the facility itself.
Something that I noticed myself in the movie theater before the pandemic, there were like long lines, like almost like a maze for people, like if you're going to the credit card machine, or you're a member of a club where you get where you have a card for discounts and stuff. That's like half gone. The lines are designed to be really short. I also noticed that the menus are different. Like, for example, you could get pizza and pretzels and stuff. And I noticed on the board they were keeping it simple. They got popcorn, hot dogs, candy, and that's about it. And something that I noticed on the sign is they weren't doing refills. And at the concession stand, they aren't doing cash. It said they're only doing debit cards. Although when I paid for the movie tickets, at the box office, they took cash. And I did notice that there was some disinfectant wipes in the bathrooms and everywhere practically. But yeah, I mean, it's different. And I did notice that there were maybe 21 other people in the theater besides us. So I mean, it wasn't totally empty, but it looked like everybody was separated from each other, like group wise, like we were away from a lot of other people. So I think in that aspect, our theater was definitely stepping it up. So it's kind of interesting. Everybody looked like they were wearing their mask the whole time, like we were. I did see people, take it down here, to eat snacks or to drink and stuff like that. But for the most part, in our screening room, everybody followed the rules.
And going into this movie, you'll be very pleasantly surprised by the previews. I mean, like Halloween is just around the corner, and you expect this movie to be just all like really horrific and everything. You'd be surprised at the mood, your mood coming out of this movie, actually. But some really great previews, like you'll see Morbius. Some will catch you off guard, like Tenant and Death on the Nile. I mean, with Gal Gadot. I mean, I'm excited to go to the movies again after this long standstill, and the previews really actually make it very worthwhile. So really get here early for the previews before the movie. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've had some terrible news in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We found out yesterday that Chadwick Boseman, better known to you and me as the Black Panther, had passed away from colon cancer. I didn't find this out until last night. I was coming home and somebody told me, Chadwick Boseman died. I'm like, what? No, I didn't know that. What happened? And I guess I just missed the news. I didn't know he had colon cancer. I guess he kept it private. And I was talking to my mom, and she said she saw some articles online. I guess before this happened, he was posting pictures and he looked thin. I didn't see them, and people were wondering what was going on with him and saying bad things. And I did some more look about what's been going on. I guess I guess he got diagnosed like 4 years ago. And in between making all these movies, he was getting surgery and chemotherapy and stuff. And, I didn't know. He just kept it private. But it's a sad loss. I don't know what's going to happen because they were supposed to gear up for Black Panther 2. I don't know if they're going to have to rewrite it for the sister or what's going on. But this was very sad. And I first discovered him. He played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42, which I highly recommend. He's great in that. And it's a sad loss. Darren, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, this trip to the movie theater, I was so excited to actually see this movie, and I actually expected it to flop, New Mutants, but it was so bittersweet to just find out the death of the Black Panther himself. And I'm just so distraught by the news. I mean, I don't know what lies ahead for that franchise now that he's gone. There are rumors saying that they that they might not even make the movie because of the pandemic, you know, and them being in the middle of things and, you know, just finding out, you know, about his diagnosis. They might not even had a chance to even just film some of the movie. And people are saying, you know, on social media, please do not recast an actor for Black Panther, which is very sad news all around, because I had one of my favorite Marvel characters coming into play with that, Namor the Submariner.
Oh, that's your surprise.
Yes, and that's why I wore this shirt. I mean, of course, I have lots of shirts with Colossus on it, and, you know, to reference, you know, this movie and the X-Men. But Namor the Submariner was Marvel's first mutant back in the 1960s, and he first appeared in the comics, and he did have a cartoon at the time, and he's been an X-Men, he's been an Avenger, he's everything, and he was supposed to be the villain in Black Panther too, which rumor had it Keanu Reeves was going to play him. I don't know if that was the best pick, but very, very sad for the death of Black Panther. And it's a deep loss in the world and in the MCU as a whole. So,
Yeah.
all I had to say is, Rob, Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. All right. Well, Darren, I do appreciate you taking the time to come to this movie with me, and, you know, I'm glad this is my first movie in, like, what, 5 or 6 months. I'm glad you came with. I'm glad we saw the movie, and looking forward to see what happens next.
Yes.
So thank you very much for coming by.
Yeah, no problem. I am too, and I look forward to our next movie adventure.
Yes. All right. Well, that's the end of the video. So let's go ahead and tell us what you thought. If you have seen the New Mutants, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Were you disappointed by it? Post your comments below. If you did go to the movie theater, what were some of the things that surprised you? How was your experience? And you know, did you feel safe? Did you feel like not enough precaution was being done? And of course, feel free to leave your thoughts about the passing of Chadwick Boseman in the comment box below, and feel free to check out some other movie reviews that you can watch at home, perhaps something you can watch in the theaters when it comes out. You know, feel free to post your comments and check out what I've got. So thank you very much for watching.